Welcome to State Scoop TV. I'm Jake Williams. We're here today with Dewand Neely, the CIO of Indiana at NASCIO's Midyear 2017 conference in Crystal City, Virginia. Dewand, how you doing?
I'm good, Jake. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to have you here. So Dewand, tell me, what are your main priorities and focuses for the year ahead, and really how have they changed over the last year?
Sure. So we have a new governor, Governor Holcomb, here in the state of Indiana, and he very quickly set a strategy that he calls taking Indiana to the next level, complete with 5 priorities. The priority number 5 on that list is delivering great government services to the citizens, and so that translates directly to my operation being in IT, and I see addressing that priority in a couple ways, and that's creating an environment where agencies can deliver services to the citizens faster and more secure. And so we're taking efforts around creating a more awareness of risks of security and how you can modify business practices to meet those security needs so that products are being delivered secure from the start, but also creating the environment that allows agencies to test and develop new ideas in a faster fashion and subsequently get those out quicker.
That's interesting. And tell me about your enterprise visioning process, especially in the case of having a new governor. How do you plan and execute on some of these big projects that we're talking about?
Yeah, so we're tackling that in a couple ways. I've started just last year the concept of a statewide technology roadmap. Traditionally, we did just a roadmap inside of IT, but we've opened it up this past year to allow for all state agencies to participate and develop one giant roadmap for the state that way. So that way we can keep an eye on things, we could kind of drive synergies together where it makes sense. And then the other way we're tracking those large projects is we've started taking a more of a project assurance role, and an idea that we worked closely with the state of Michigan on, to where the IT can be sort of a, not really doing the work, but can kind of be that oversight into there to kind of evaluate how things are going from a third-party perspective, and then make suggestions and recommendations to keep things on track if needed.
That's interesting. And what, we talk a lot in this space about buzzwords, right? And I think even just in our conversation so far, we've each said some. What's the biggest buzzword that you find yourself getting tired of, and really how are you channeling the ideas that it represents into some action?
Yeah, so for me right now, that buzzword is probably smart state.
Yeah.
And what that means. And so what I've been doing to try to figure out where this makes sense and where this lies in the state is I'm starting to ask folks and bring folks together and say, where does the state fit in on this? I mean, we obviously have some assets. They're typically, interstates and things like that. So in order to do something with a smart state, you really got to partner closely with the cities. And so trying to bring the cities together and say, well, what are you thinking and how can we help? So it's just when someone asks you, are you going to be a smart state? I'm trying to figure out where we can really add value and help the cities, because it's really got to start in the cities and how the state can play into that.
That's interesting. It's interesting to see how that idea is evolving across the rest of the community. That's really cool. How are, and kind of right on that the exact point there, how are you working to collaborate outside the boundaries of your agency with cities or with other agencies within government? And what are some of the challenges that come along with that collaboration?
Yeah, so I work to collaborate outside. I think we do right now a great job from a technical standpoint. So we hold things like monthly IT director meetings across the agencies that we get to update each other and brief each other on high-level options or high-level topics. And then we do, even further than that, we do a tech board, which is more of a quarterly meeting where we actually look at more systemic issues that cross all agencies. And we break it out in pieces of public safety or general government service or environmental type things. And then we help try to solve issues there and push those back down. And so we capture it good from a technical side. Where I don't do a good job today and where I'm struggling at is getting the business side and introducing the business to technology and say, think about what you're doing today from a business standpoint, not just what servers you have or what software you're using, and think more creatively on how you can use technology to change some things. So I want to take a more concerted effort to get in front of the business folks, not just the IT folks going forward.
That's a good point. It's a good idea. That we're hearing a lot of that. We're hearing about integrating the business side into the technology. So last question, again, one of those buzzwords is this idea of emerging technology. How has emerging technology changed the way that your state is delivering services and solving problems?
So there's a few that are kind of playing in that space that's helping us to do some things. Data analytics really isn't emerging anymore, but it's starting to become more prevalent, especially in the public sector. So using that to drive more policy decisions and then using it effectively and getting that proliferated around the agencies is helping. The concept of this open data and these hackathons that states are starting to take advantage of. Indiana's one of those. Trying to be a strong promoter and strong participant in those hackathons is starting to really create that two-way conversation between the state and the citizens, so we can maybe get some more better ideas of what they really want from state government, and it's not just us assuming.
Yeah.
And then I think lastly, the concept of this convergence of the data center, this hybrid convergence, and the maturity that the cloud is starting to experience in terms of security, that's allowing us now to have a better feeling and an easier feeling to start moving some of our less expensive workloads to the cloud and create a more innovative workspace for agencies. So I think those three together are kind of compile and help us do some better things.
Yeah, and I think it picks up on the point that you mentioned earlier about bridging that gap between business and the tech side, and especially what you guys have done in data analytics really does bridge that gap with infant mortality and now with the opioid crisis as well and what you're doing there. So that's really cool. Dewand, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate
thank you,
everything
Jake.
had to say.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
For more information on what Dewand Neely is doing in the state of Indiana, check out statescoop.com and subscribe to the Daily Scoop email newsletter. I'm Jake Williams. We're here with Dewand Neely, State CIO for the state of Indiana. Thanks for watching.